So welcome to the equipment guide video. It is important to understand that in the whole foiling system with your sail, the board, the foil, there are a huge amount of settings you can change to achieve your perfect trim. And there is time needed on the water to find your perfect trim. We, the professional riders, can give you an idea of how it should feel and how it should be and give you a starting point. But then in the end, you still put in a little bit of time to tweak it to your personal needs. Once you start trying stuff out and changing the settings and trying it out again on the water, you will develop a really good feeling of what is happening. And just trust your gut feeling. If you have the feeling that the base has to be a centimeter further back, just put the base a centimeter further back and go try it out. And I'll tell you, most of the times, it's just that. So let's start with the sails. First thing everybody wants to know is a downhaul trim. And for the downhaul, I'll just advise you to use what's on the sail. We'll have numbers on the sail telling you how much downhaul to put, and that is the result of hours and hours of testing, of trying out, and it's about that mast and that sail, and that trim will work. So just put that trim and don't worry about it too much. In general, if the sail feels too twitchy in your hands and you can't really put the power down, then the sail most likely has too much downhaul. If you feel the sail is heavy and it puts a lot of pressure on the board while you fly, it could be that the sail has not enough downhaul and it's just too baggy. If the sail puts too much pressure on the board and you have the feeling it doesn't release, it doesn't give you the acceleration you need, then most likely you don't have enough downhaul in the sail. For the boom trim, I like to use the boom just a little bit longer than what is written on the sails. I put most of the times between 2 and 4 centimeters longer, just to have that extra ability to really pull the sail flat when I get into overpower situations or when I just feel that this will give me the most performance. So for the outhaul trim, a flat sail will give you less drag and the ability to really push for it, while a sail that is more baggy, so with little outhaul trim, will create more backhand power and will help you in marginal conditions to lift the nose a little bit with that backhand power. The boom position is pretty easy. The higher you put your boom, the more it stiffens up the sail and the more power you will create. Once you get into overpower or you want to release a bit of pressure and gain more control, just lower your boom. For the sails, it's super easy. A big sail will put more pressure on the board than a small sail. So your trim for the 9.0 HG4 will be completely different to the trim of a 7.0 HG4. You just have to tweak a bit, but you'll find it. The same goes for the mast track position. Mast track position further forward puts your nose down, while a mast track position further back puts your nose up. With the foot straps, it's a bit of a different story because it can become a real trade-off. On one side, you want to be tall to have the best leverage for your sail, meaning having your legs close together. But on the other side, you want control and a wide stance to really control the board in all the conditions and in all the speeds. So for me, I tend to put my back strap all the way in the back to really be able to push the board, and the front strap I put in the middle. So I have a slightly wider stance. But I help myself in super light wind conditions, going upwind, by putting the back foot in front of the front foot strap to get even taller. Okay, so let's talk about how the foil works. That could be a video of its own because there's so many things to take into consideration. First of all, you need to understand the relationship between the front wing and the back wing. A bigger front wing enables you to foil at slower speeds and, saying that, also at lighter winds. But at the same time, a bigger front wing creates more drag. You'll feel that this drag pulls the nose of the board down. To work with this, you'll have to increase the power in the back wing angle as well. You can use a thicker profile. That's what we have in starboard with the 255 thin versus the 255 normal. The normal has a bigger profile, thicker profile, so it gives more lift. Or you increase the back wing angle. Another way to cope with this effect of a bigger front wing is putting the mast track a little bit further back. So as you see, there are several ways to reach a good trim, and you just have to try that out. Another important thing is the angle between the fuselage and the planing surface of the board. You can change that by raking the vertical forward or backward. If you rake the vertical backward, you can achieve this by putting a shim in the front of the box. You'll increase the angle between the fuselage and the planing surface. What happens on the water with that? The nose will ride higher. It will give you amazing feeling to be able to push hard when the nose is a little bit higher. But at the same time, it creates a little bit of a problem on upwind because a board that has the nose high simulates a smaller tail. So you'll lose pressure on the back foot. But on downwind, it's really nice because you're confident to push the board when it's riding with a high nose. But this is a thing you can change as well and find your perfect setting. For me, in slalom foiling, I always use between 1.8 and 2.5 degree on the fuselage, and that gives me the confidence to really push for it and have a comfortable stance. So there you have it. Foiling and finding a good setup is all about finding the right settings for all the different pieces and understanding how they work together. In the end, it's a piece of cake. Just go outside, change things, and develop a feeling for the equipment, and you'll be up and flying in no time.